The story, The Seventh Cloud Who Wouldn't Rain, Chapter 1. The Valley of Fading Colors. In the farthest corner of our world, where the sky kisses the earth with a silvery touch, there lay a magical valley called the Valley of Colors. This valley resembled a painting brushed by divine hands. Blue flowers that sang to the sun at dawn, towering trees bearing fruits that shimmered like gold, and streams whose waters danced leaves to the rhythm of their gentle flow. Even the animals spoke the language of humans, sharing their joy and laughter. But something strange began to happen. One morning, Lena, a girl with braids as dark as night's threads, woke to the sound of uneasy whispers. The river that flowed past her wooden hut had stopped running, and the blue flowers had begun to wilt, as if someone had stolen their colors. Even the deer and squirrels, which once chased butterflies, now huddled under rocks in search of meager shade. "Where has the rain gone?" Lena asked her mother, who gazed worriedly at the sky. "The 7 clouds no longer visit us, especially the 7th cloud, which refuses to rain," her mother replied sorrowfully. Lena decided to uncover the truth. She grabbed a small water flask, a pouch of her favorite sunflower seeds, and ventured into the heart of the valley. There, she saw what broke her heart. The earth had cracked like a thirsty mouth. The golden apple trees bent like weary old women. The canary that once taught children to sing now croaked like the rustle of dead leaves. Stranger still were the 6 clouds. 6 cotton-white clouds drifted slowly in the sky, trying to gather droplets from the air, but something was missing. One of them whispered to Lena, "Without our 7th sister, we cannot make rain. She refuses to join us." Suddenly, Lena heard a voice from the ancient tree at the valley's center, the oleander tree, known as the Keeper of Secrets. Its leaves rustled and murmured. "The 7th cloud hides behind the mountain of whispering heights. She fears melting away in the rain. Go to her, for without her, the valley will perish." Lena looked up at the empty sky and steeled her resolve. "I will find that stubborn cloud, and I will make her change her mind." Chapter 2. Meeting the Stubborn Cloud. Time: a golden sunset where sunlight grazes the mountain's final peaks. Location: the summit of the Mountain of the High Whisper, surrounded by silvery mists resembling children's dreams. The journey to the summit: Lena began climbing the mountain in worn-out shoes and a small bag filled with seeds of hope from her grandmother. With every step, the wind whispered the clouds' names: cloud of joy, cloud of abundance, until she reached a strange area where rocks harmonized with each other in watery melodies. There, she met a small blue bird who told her, "The 7th cloud loves riddles. Find the shape that doesn't resemble itself." Lena realized the bird meant the cloud's transformations and continued climbing with a confident heart. The first encounter: the game of shifting shapes. At the summit, Lena saw a warm blue cloud dancing like a playful child. The 7th cloud, transforming into a rabbit. "Look, I'm a cloud bunny hopping over the stars." Lena eagerly, "Beautiful, but don't you want to rain? The valley needs you." The 7th cloud, suddenly shrinking into a boat. "Rain will melt me. I'll become just a lost droplet." The heartfelt dialogue. Fear and desire. Lena sat on a warm rock and tried to touch the cloud's mist. "My friend the river told me rain isn't an end, it's an embrace for the earth. When you rain, you'll return again with the breeze." But the cloud coldly retorted, "Lies. Once I rained a little and lost a part of myself," revealing a darkened patch on her body. "I don't want to melt." The small test, a drop of courage. Suddenly, they heard the cry of a thirsty eagle from below the mountain. Lena, with a trembling voice, "Look! Even this strong eagle might die." The cloud retreated, then tried to release a single droplet of water. Result: the droplet fell and the cloud screamed, "See? My right arm vanished." Her cloud arm temporarily shrinking. Lena, sadly, "But the droplet saved the eagle's life." Escape into mystery. The seventh cloud trembled and vanished into a nearby black cloud, shouting, I can't risk it." As the black cloud dispersed, the stubborn cloud disappeared, leaving Lena alone with the eagle's cry echoing through the valley. A touch of magic. The sign of hope. Before leaving, Lena noticed something shimmering where the cloud had stood, a frozen water droplet shaped like a star. She picked it up and whispered, "Maybe this star will teach you one day that giving doesn't hurt." End of chapter. Lena descends the mountain with a heavier heart, but she carries the water star as proof that the seventh cloud has a kind heart, waiting for someone to set it free. Chapter 3. The Secret of the Old Tree. Time: a moonlit night with stars twinkling like secret tongues. Location: an ancient forest hidden behind the mountain of the high whisper, where trees speak the language of rustling leaves. Entering the forbidden forest after the seventh cloud left, Lena felt despair until she heard a mysterious voice calling from among the trees. "Come, learn the secrets of rain." She followed the voice into a dark forest, but the light from the water star she had picked up at the summit illuminated her path. Suddenly, a giant tree appeared, its branches like arms embracing the sky, and eyes of bark glowing in the dark. The old tree, in a voice like a river's murmur, "Welcome to the one who carries the star of courage. I am the guardian of secrets. What do you seek, little one?" The forgotten tale. Why does the cloud fear? Lena sat beneath the tree and told her story of the seventh cloud. The tree laughed with a stormy voice that shook the leaves. The seventh clouds are always stubborn because they are closest to the stars. But her fear is not of rain, it is of being forgotten. Once there was a seventh cloud like her. She rained all her heart until she evaporated. The sky forgot her, so she spent years searching for her name. Lena, astonished. But how do I convince her that rain won't erase her? The gift of the magical seed. The tree plunged a branch into the earth, and from its roots emerged a golden seed glowing like the sun. The old tree. This is the seed of light. It grows only when watered with the water of empathy. Plant it where the cloud realizes that her giving is part of her return, not her end. Lena, holding the seed carefully. But how will I know when to plant it? The old tree, closing its eyes. You will hear the cry of the earth, then you will know. The mysterious warning before Lena left, the tree turned to her. Beware, the seventh cloud may send winds to hinder you, but remember, fear melts before the inner light. Suddenly, the tree transformed into green lights that vanished into the darkness, leaving Lena with the seed and a heart full of questions. The first sign, the eagle's call. As she left the forest, Lena heard the thirsty eagle's cry again, but this time it was weaker. She looked at the water star in her hand and found it melting slowly, as if warning, time is running out. A touch of magic, the song of the leaves. As she exited the forest, Lena picked up a leaf that had fallen from the old tree. Written on it in golden words was, Those who give without fear become eternal. She placed the leaf in her bag and returned to the valley, ready for her new plan. End of chapter. Lena stares at the golden seed, wondering, what if this seed is the key to the cloud's heart? Chapter 4. The Dance of Lights and Dew. It was an extraordinary night in the valley, as Lena set her plan into motion with the help of the 6 clouds. The 6 clouds gathered around the peak of the Whispering Mountain and began to whisper in the language of light. Soft hues of azure, pink, and gold emanated from their bodies, weaving a nocturnal rainbow that shimmered like silk under the moonlight. Meanwhile, the 7th cloud, who had been hiding behind a neighboring mountain, was drawn curiously toward the twinkling lights. She approached slowly, murmuring, "What are you doing?" "It's just lights, but they're beautiful." From below the mountain, Lena spotted the 7th cloud peeking. She smiled and pulled out the seed of light given to her by the ancient tree. Whispering to the seed, she said, "Your time has come. Help me make the cloud understand the meaning of cooperation." She planted the seed in the dry mountain soil, then raised her hands toward the 6 clouds and shouted, "Now, make the lights dance!" The magical trick. The 6 clouds began swirling in harmony, their radiant lights painting enchanting shapes across the sky. Golden butterflies, silver fish, and flowers that bloomed and melted like snow. The 7th cloud, captivated, forgot her fears and joined the dance, morphing into playful shapes: a flying cat, a tiny steamboat, and then a castle of white smoke. At that moment, the planted seed pulsed powerfully under the moonlight. The soil split open, giving birth to a giant flower with petals glowing like stars, and from its heart spilled enchanted dew that shimmered brightly. The 7th cloud fluttered toward the dew and curiously touched a droplet, the surprise that changed everything. "Oh, this dew, it's cool and refreshing." The 7th cloud exclaimed in awe as the droplets trickled over her blue surface without melting her as she had feared. Lena smiled and said, "See? Water doesn't dissolve clouds, it cleanses them and makes them stronger. This flower was born because you and the 6 clouds worked together to create beauty." The 7th cloud trembled with emotion, then whispered, "But what if I rain and lose my beautiful shapes?" Lena replied wisely, "You'll return anew. A cloud is like an idea. It disappears for a moment, then comes back even more beautiful." A new beginning. The 7th cloud decided to test her courage. She asked her 6 companions to surround her, and together they began creating a gentle spray of warm rain. The droplets fell softly onto the magical flower, making it glow brighter, and the valley revived with a fragrant breeze carrying promises of change. But suddenly, everyone heard a distant voice cry out, "Save the little one, he's choking from thirst." The greatest crisis was about to begin. Chapter 5. The Ultimate Test. The cry for help shot through the valley like an arrow, and Lena and the 7 clouds rushed toward the source. At the edge of a dried-up river, they found the towering mountain tiger desperately trying to revive his trembling cub. The cub's gray body shivered with thirst, his blue eyes barely open. The father roared, "Water! Oh, if only there were a single drop!" Lena turned to the 7th cloud, who had retreated behind her sisters, trembling. "I can't. What if I rain and never return to who I am?" One of the 6 clouds whispered, "You're not alone. We'll reign together." The difficult choice. The 7th cloud realized this was her true test. She looked at the fading cub and remembered Lena's words. Water doesn't dissolve clouds, it gives them new life. but fear gripped her. She tried to morph into a silly shape to escape, but her heart felt heavy. Suddenly, the magical flower Lena had planted glowed in the sky, sending a golden beam that touched the seventh cloud's forehead. In that moment, the cloud saw a vision, a rain shower falling from her, turning the valley into an emerald lake, children laughing under its playful droplets. The brave decision. The seventh cloud cried out eagerly, "Let's do it now, together." The six clouds circled her, forming a golden ring in the sky, while Lena stood below, raising her hands like an orchestra conductor. The seventh cloud trembled, releasing a blue shimmer that turned into warm raindrops. But suddenly, she stopped. A sister cloud shouted, "Don't stop. Remembering makes you stronger." The first miracle. The seventh cloud closed her eyes, imagining herself dissolving, but instead she felt a surge of energy. Raindrops burst forth like musical notes, slowly filling the dry river. The father tiger ran to the water, cupped it in his paws, and splashed it onto his cub's face. The cub jolted awake, sneezed fiercely, and whispered, "Papa, I dreamed of a blue cloud." The tear that changed destiny. As the valley cheered for the rain, Lena noticed something strange. One raindrop hovered in the air like a jewel, then hit the mountain floor, transforming into a small lake of light. Inside it, an image appeared. The seventh cloud smiling, surrounded by an open book titled "The Legend of the Cloud Who Learned to Give." Lena whispered. Fear melts away, and giving builds legends. Calm before the final storm. The valley revived, colors blazed, animals danced. But the seventh cloud stared anxiously at the horizon. Beyond the mountains, a black shadow crept like smoke. She said to a sister cloud, "Did you see that? It feels like something's lurking." A distant voice interrupted, "Beware, the drought isn't over yet." Chapter 6. The Shadow of Forgotten Storms. Time, dawn, when the sky blushes with the first hints of amber and violet. Location, the revived valley, now trembling under the approach of the creeping black shadow. The whisper of the darkened sky. The seventh cloud hovered above the valley, her once fearful form now glowing with newfound confidence. But as the black shadow slithered closer, the air grew heavy, and the vibrant colors of the valley began to dull once more. Lena clutched the seed of light, its golden pulse syncing with her heartbeat. Lena shouting to the clouds, "What is that shadow?" The seventh cloud, her voice trembling, "It's the Storm of Oblivion. It feeds on fear, the fear of being erased, forgotten. I felt it lurking in my heart all along." The shadow coiled like smoke, forming a monstrous face in the sky. Its hollow eyes glared at the seventh cloud, hissing, "You cannot escape me. Every raindrop weakens you, and soon no one will remember your name." The battle of light and memory. Lena sprinted to the magical flower, now towering like a beacon. She pressed the seed of light into its stem, and the flower erupted into a symphony of light, its petals scattering stardust into the air. The seventh cloud swooped down, her form shimmering bravely. "Lena, you're not alone. The valley remembers you. Remember you." The seventh cloud, to her sisters, "We must become the storm we choose to be." The six clouds surged forward, weaving a shield of rainbows around the shadow. But the darkness lashed out, swallowing their light. The seventh cloud hesitated, her edges fraying until Lena held up the melting water star. "Lena, this star is proof you've already begun to change the world. Now finish what you started." the sacrifice and the song. With a cry that echoed across the mountains, the seventh cloud plunged into the shadow's heart. Her body dissolved into a torrent of rain, but this rain was unlike any other. It glowed with the seed's golden light, each droplet singing, "To give is to become eternal." The shadow recoiled, its form unraveling as the rain washed over it. The valley trembled, and for a moment Lena feared the worst until the downpour ceased. Above, the sky cleared, and there, reborn from the mist, hovered the seventh cloud. But she was no longer just a cloud. Her edges sparkled with starlight, and her voice carried the wisdom of the ancient tree. The seventh cloud. I am not gone, I am everywhere. In the rivers, the dew, the tears of joy, I cannot be forgotten. The legend blooms. The valley erupted in color, stronger than before. Flowers sprouted wings and fluttered. The river sang in harmonies, and the mountain tiger's cub bounded through fields of emerald grass. High above, the seven clouds danced, their reign a gentle promise. Lena knelt by the magical flower, now blooming with 1,000 seeds. One floated into her palm, inscribed with a single word, courage. The old tree's voice whispering through the wind. The storm was never your enemy, child. It was the teacher you needed. Epilogue. The cloud who became the sky. As seasons passed, the seventh cloud's story spread. She became a legend, yes, but also something more. On quiet nights, children would point to the sky and say, "Look, there's the cloud who rains starlight." And in the valley, when the rains came, they brought with them a whisper, "Your memory lingers in every drop." Moral lessons. True courage is giving even when afraid. Legacies are not built by clinging to ourselves, but by becoming part of something greater. The darkest storms often hide the brightest lessons. End of chapter. Lena smiled, planting the new seed beside her hut. Somewhere above, a playful breeze tugged at her braids, a breeze that smelled of rain and stardust.
Thank you for watching our story today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to enjoy more fun stories. Share with us in the comments the names of characters or stories you'd like us to tell next. And don't forget to share the video with your friends and children so everyone can benefit. See you in a new story. Take care. All.